Welcome back. So while all of the rain is falling outside here, over the last week, anyways, because spring break. So why not rain all week? I feel bad for the kids, teenagers that are off this weekend. Good luck. Unless you really enjoy the rain, good luck. But anyways, some news of the day before I turn in for tonight to close things out for your Wednesday, March the 27th, beginning with St. Louis Blues news. We are looking for Blues news. Anyways, Oscar Sundquist. I heard it. I heard it in my head, and I'm like, oh great, the Blues Clues theme, and there it is. But yeah, Oscar Sundquist has had knee surgery. He'll be reevaluated in 6 months. So the key thing there is reevaluated in 6 months. And 6 months from now is September. So I guess around training camp he gets reevaluated, and we'll see where Sundquist is at then. But he's out for the rest of the season. St. Louis, of course, still clinging to the potential that they might be able to get into a playoff spot. The odds are looking really long at this point. They're at home against Calgary tomorrow night. The team they're chasing, Vegas, is in Winnipeg, so maybe if Winnipeg can beat Vegas in regulation, and if St. Louis can beat Calgary in regulation, they get a little closer, but they'll be doing it without Sundquist. The Vancouver Canucks today pushed Thatcher Demko to LTIR. The cheaters. I'm kidding, obviously, but LTIR for Demko. He is not eligible to play until April the 6th. So that's with about a week and a half left in the season. Joshua is set to return, so that's good news. Canuck fans very anxious to see Joshua back. When I was at the game the other night, Canuck fans talking to me were clearly hoping that Joshua would be back soon. It looks like he could return tomorrow night against Dallas. They've called up Baines. So part of the reason that they put Demko onto LTIR is to have that room to call up Baines, and he may end up in the lineup. Lindholm is still listed as day-to-day. Lindholm just dealing with a nagging injury, I guess, and so they're keeping him out until he feels better. But for the Vancouver Canucks, getting Joshua back in the lineup is huge. He's a huge part of that roster. A very physical player, and he was on his way to a 20-goal season. So it's good news that Joshua is going to be back soon, and fingers crossed he gets cleared and plays tomorrow. So the reason I'm wearing a Caps jersey, ownership's agreed to stay put. First off, the news came out that Alexandria said no, that there was not going to be a new arena. That whole thing was dead. But Ted Leonsis coming out and announcing that there's a partnership with the city where they're going to stay put in the arena, and they're going to spend $515 million on an arena project there. So that's good news for Caps fans, I think, and most people did not want the arena in Virginia to happen. So at least most of the people I saw online were very much not in favor of an arena there. There was a lot of why. They have an arena, they have a place, why? Why would they move? And it doesn't make any sense. So the team is staying put. It's quite the ambitious arena project, and Ted Leonsis says he's not getting the amount of space he would have got if they had the arena in Virginia, but it's a starting point, and he's got more room than he had before he agreed with the city on this arena project. So that's good news. Other Caps news, Ethan Bear has entered the NHLPA assistance program. I've not seen why he's in there, and not really my business why he's in there. I'm glad that there's more and more players using this. I think that's great. We know that hockey players are known for partying. We know that there's certain vices that are associated with hockey players. And just the pressure of being an NHL player, there are various things that can happen in your life that could cause you to turn towards the assistance program. And I'm glad players seem to be more open to entering the program now than they were, I would say, 3 or 4 years ago. And so Ethan Bear is the latest. All the best to him. And of course, it's indefinite on how long he's going to be out. For the Caps, of course, they're in Toronto tomorrow night. So the Caps have been playing really, really well. I don't think that having Bear away from the team should negatively impact that on any level. He's only played 24 games for the Caps. The important thing for Bear is to get himself right, and so hopefully that happens as soon as he's able to deal with whatever this is. Again, could be a number of things. So Sheldon Keefe came out and sort of trash talked his captain after last night's 6-3 loss. And Keefe does this every now and then. I didn't report on it this morning. I'm reporting on it now because Tavares has accepted responsibility and Keefe has extended his criticism to the rest of the core players. I didn't think it was just Tavares that necessarily deserved the blame. I thought there was definitely blame to go around. All I know is Toronto would have pressure. They'd have pressure. Puck could go the other way and it's in the net. So somebody was losing track of things and somebody wasn't doing their job, I'm not saying Tavares was playing great, but it's not all on him, right? So I do think that it's great that he's accepted responsibility, and his teammates also lightly attended practice today. Yeah, no, we need to be better, and they do. I think the concern is if you're Sheldon Keefe, you know if the Leafs don't get out of the first round this year, you're probably out of a job. If the Leafs don't get out of the second round this year, you could be out of a job. So I think there's pressure on Keefe. Because, Kyle Dubas isn't the GM anymore. We don't know what Treliving's going to do if the Leafs get knocked out. He may decide to make a change behind the bench. So Keefe, rightfully, calling out his team now, wanting to get them on the right page as we get closer and closer to the playoffs. You want them to be playing their best hockey entering the playoffs. Mitch Marner's not expected to return to the team this week, so it looks like it'll be next week when he returns. In all likelihood, this injury keeps getting longer and longer. It's a high ankle sprain. These can end up being injuries that keep you out for 6 weeks. So, at any rate, he's not expected to play this week. He is slowly being brought along. Another thing to point out is you want to be as careful with Marner as possible. You don't want him coming back too soon. So I totally understand that. In tonight's game between Buffalo and Ottawa, Chabot was not on the bench in the third period. I don't report on that as much as I used to, like the in-game reviews, because I find that very often a player's off the bench and then they come back, and sometimes the player leaves the bench and maybe comes back and then leaves again. So Chabot left. He played up until the 3:31 mark of the third period. I think he had 2 shifts in the third period, they said. And he left. He's being evaluated tomorrow. So we don't know how long Chabot's going to be out. Obviously, Ottawa's not in the hunt for playoffs. And so there's no reason to have Chabot in there if he's not 100%. And it is really important that you make sure that whatever's going on with Chabot, you get it looked at and you figure out a game plan from there. But the Ottawa Senators, again, not in the hunt for a playoff spot, so it shouldn't be a big deal, although it will make things a little easier for their opposition. Tomorrow night, for instance, Ottawa's at home against Chicago. Chicago is a team that's playing actually pretty darn well right now. So anyways, there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event that you've not done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.